Okay, so far we have 13 guests that we can see online, but I'm sure there's more people out there. So welcome to all of you. We're going to start in about 3 minutes, but I just wanted to check the sound. So somebody that's watching this broadcast, if you can just chat and let me know how the sound is. Refreshing the page. Where do
we look?
Green light. Hey, Diane. Yay, welcome. So you should be able to see me live now. And if you can hear me, please let me know. We're about to start in 2 minutes, but I'm checking the broadcast to see if the sound is coming through. So please let me know if you can see the video and you can hear the sound. Okay, great. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, we'll start in a couple minutes, and welcome to all of you that have joined us tonight on late notice. I had the brainstorm yesterday of let's do a live broadcast and be able to do it within the 13 Moon Circle. So I'm sitting in Austin, Texas right now, and am surrounded by gorgeous women that are part of our circle here, and I'm really delighted to talk with each of you tonight. Yeah. Okay. I've been a little sick, so you might hear me clearing my throat and drinking tea. Good. So welcome, everyone. My name is Heather Ash Amara, and I'm inspired to work with women, specifically to help women to find their center, to find their authenticity, and to learn to live within the cycles of life, to really learn to love ourselves. Over the past, it's been 5 or 6 years now, I've been really blessed to hold the container for women as they're healing. And tonight I want to talk about self-love and inner healing and how, as women, we can come back to our own centers. So one of the things that's true for us as women is that we've had a tendency to live our lives from the outside, to take on how we think we should be, to open to being what we think others want us to be, rather than really living in the center of our own authenticity and our own truth. And we've often based our self-love on whether people are loving us or not. So we take our value and make our value based on other people's input rather than our own innate value, which is so deeply within us, but has often been buried by layers and layers of programming and beliefs and agreements. When we start to unlayer those beliefs, what we come to is our deepest truth that's not based on who we think we should be, that's not based on an image of perfection, but it's based on our core, our center. And that's always there within us. Okay? I really believe our own self-love is always there within us. We had that when we were kids. So you can remember back to being a really little kid. So often you can remember the love that you had for everything, including yourself. You can see that in little babies and little children, is they just have this incredible openness and awe of the world, including themselves as part of the world. We're not separate. And to get back to that awe and wonder is to let go, is to shed the skin of the many different agreements and beliefs we've taken on, and to let ourselves be as big as we truly are. To begin to slough off those limitations that we've carried around with us, and to open to the possibility of being who we are. 100%, without restriction, without holding ourselves back, just in deep honoring of the light and the beauty that we are. Coming back into self-love, coming back into healing, is about stepping back into being a part of life, not seeing ourselves as separate from life. If we have a great love of life, if we can see the beauty around us, then we can definitely put ourselves as part of that beauty, because we are. We are part of life. We're not separate. And within life, there are cycles that each of us go through. There's cycles that we can reconnect to that remind us of all the aspects of ourself. So as women, our healing comes from stepping out of linear thinking, stepping out of judgment, stepping out of fear, stepping out of, if I do this as a good girl, if I do this perfectly, if I do this correctly, then I'll get rewarded, then I'll be liked, then I'll be okay. It's all linear thinking, an old way of thinking, which for many of us we realize doesn't work. We want it to work, but it really doesn't work. It hasn't served us. We've outgrown it. Coming back into what I call circular time is about coming into the natural rhythm of life. And that natural rhythm at its primordial base, we can say, is around birth, around life, and around death, and then back to rebirth. As women, we know this, we feel this in our cycles, where we are full, where we bleed, where we let go and slough off what's no longer needed, in the places that we can bring life forth. We're part of a much larger cycle of life. And in that cycle of life, when we wake up and remember that we're part of this incredible beauty, then we come back into alignment with ourselves as love, rather than as beings that are searching for love. We come back to alignment with ourselves as part of the cosmos that's complete, rather than seeking completeness outside of ourselves. And we come back into a completely new relationship with ourselves. A relationship that's not based in judgment, that's not based in trying to not make mistakes, that's not based in making sure everybody likes or agrees with us, that's not based in fear, but that emanates from our core and that opens into everything, where we're willing to stand by ourselves no matter what, where we can honor what's true for ourselves, and we learn to no longer abandon ourselves, to no longer judge ourselves through other people's eyes, to no longer wish we were different. And that happens in all aspects of our being, where we come back into a new relationship with our mind, a new relationship with our emotions, and a new relationship with our physical body. Right now, for many of us, our mind is like a bully. And that bully tells us how we should be in relationship with our physical body, or what our physical body should be like, and also tries to control or cycles our emotions. when we come back into balance with our mind, it's what I call mental integrity, then we're able to witness our thoughts. It's not about trying to make our thoughts go away, but recognizing that, like everything in life, thoughts are born, they exist, and then they die. And when we're not judging them, trying to make them different, wishing we didn't have them, then we can simply witness, there's another thought, and choose to engage with that thought. Because there's some thoughts that are fabulous to engage with, the creative thoughts, the thoughts that are about joy, the places where we're using our words to connect with others, to go deeper. The places where the mind is incredibly helpful, like balancing a checkbook. We love that part of the mind. So we come into gratitude in our relationship with our mind and recognize that there's parts of it that we don't want to feed. If you feed your judge, it grows. If you let your judge rule your life, if you let your critic always tell you how you're doing, no matter how much you try and please the critic, it's never going to be pleased. If you let your judge constantly look outside of you and tell you how other people are doing, you're never going to feel a sense of peace with people. It's always going to be judgment. And it's the same thing with the part of us that is victimized. Because in our mind, we each have judge, we each have victim. And the victim parts of us see where it's not going for us. We go into blame, we go into fear. We hold ourselves back through being victimized or seeing other people as victims. And then we get into this whole dance of who's the victim and who's the perpetrator, who's at fault here, who's right and who's wrong. That's all part of dichotomy and linear thinking. Circular thinking recognizes, when we come back into the cycle of life, that all of us go through transformations. All of us go through different aspects of healing. Sometimes we're going to feel victimized, sometimes we're going to feel judgmental. Sometimes we're going to feel incredibly vulnerable and scared. And sometimes we're going to feel totally powerful and yes. And that's part of the cycle. When we can learn to witness all of those aspects of self and really love, here's my vulnerability. Really love, my judge is doing a really good job. From that place of acceptance, we find self-love. From that place of self-love, we can choose where we want our thoughts to go. So a thought arises, and from self-love we can go, I'm not going down that trail. And another thought arises, and we go, let me explore and go deeper with this thought. Our actions begin to become from loving ourself and even loving the thoughts, loving the mind. Knowing that that's a part of the wholeness of us as well, that we're not separate, but that we don't have to live our lives through the judge or through the victim. They're parts of us, but we can come into a completely new relationship with them, one where we're learning from, instead of judging, we're learning to discern what's true for me and what's not true, what serves me at this time and what doesn't serve me. So there's no emotion, there's no process, it's just in that place of discernment rather than judgment. So judgment has a lot of story, a lot of emotion, a lot of baggage. Discernment simply has choice. Does this work for me? Does this not work for me? Is this serving me? Is this not serving me? When we come into a new relationship with our victim, what we open to then is our vulnerability, which is incredibly beautiful, is our tenderness. So the victim loved, when we really love the victim, then we can shift the what about me, it's not fair, who do I blame, poor me, into just honoring the soft, sweet part of us that's always there, the vulnerability that each of us has. And that is also a strength. It's not a weakness. That's the transformation. We also then shift into a new relationship with our body and with our emotions. So as we heal, we come more into self-love, and we begin to love our body exactly the way it is. Not need our body to be different. That's pretty radical thinking, especially for those of us that have dieted our whole life or decided my body should be completely different than it is. When we come into that new relationship, we come into a relationship of honoring this body as it is and listening to what does this body need to be healthy, to be whole. So we learn to listen deeply from that place of acceptance. And acceptance opens up into respect. Respect opens up into love. When we love our bodies exactly the way that we are, it doesn't mean we just go, well, that's it, I don't have to do anything. We then have the spaciousness and the creativity and the openness to listen to what's right for this body. And then the healing happens from the inside, because it's our body guiding us in the healing rather than our mind telling us what it should be. Big difference. We want to go into a different relationship with our body so that we're listening to the body's wisdom rather than listening to the mind's judgment around the body. And it's the same thing with our emotional body. For so many of us, our emotional body's been really bullied, or we've really tried to separate ourselves from our emotions. But our emotions are incredible guides on our journey towards authenticity. Our emotions can teach us so much. And when the mind isn't telling a story to create the emotion or to sustain an emotion, when we're able to start to separate out pure emotion versus the thought, versus the story, then again, the emotional body knows how to heal, knows how to clear out what's not about this moment. And so often, the emotions that we have aren't about this moment. So healing happens when we can be present with our emotions, when we can stay with ourselves rather than abandoning ourselves, rather than shutting it down, rather than running away, rather than exacerbating it with a story. When we can befriend our emotional body and sit with it as we would a sick friend and listen. And the emotional body can then guide us to its own healing. We are so wise. We are so incredibly wise in our relationship with ourselves. And when we step towards self-love and away from self-judgment, then that wisdom can come through. So for me, that's what 13 Moons is about, which is this incredible circle of women coming together from all across the globe with the commitment to themselves, a commitment to healing, a commitment to authenticity, a commitment to being seen and being held in a new way. And as we move towards the end of 2012 and all this energy around what it means, and we move towards 2013, we're stepping towards a new dawn, a new paradigm. And each of us as women have the opportunity to step more into ourselves and to really commit to us, to commit to yourself fully. What would it be like if you spent a year committing to yourself? However you choose to do that. If you had a goal, if you had a vision of what you wanted to step into, and you then supported yourself and created a circle that would support you unconditionally in stepping towards that goal and that intent. One of the things that we do at the beginning of the 13 Moons Circle is is we name 5 goals that we want to accomplish over the year. And I've seen so many women accomplish those within the first couple months and then go, okay, now what? I've really found that to foster our own growth, that when we have an intent for ourselves, when we plant a seed, then that allows us to navigate towards that goal, towards that intent. So, as we're coming up to the solstice together right now, let's connect and consciously call in what our intent is for the coming year. What's the seed that you want to plant at solstice? So closing your eyes right now, wherever you are, unless you're driving. Don't close your eyes then. If you're driving, keep your awareness open and just let yourself go within. Bringing your gratitude and your love to yourself for all that you've gone through, for all that you've survived, for all that you've learned throughout your lifetime. Just take a moment to say thank you to this incredible being that you are, this manifestation of life in form. And from that place of gratitude, to open to what's your heart desire for yourself. What's the feeling sense of what you would like more of in your life? And let yourself bring that down to a word. So open to the feeling sense first of what your heart desires, of what you're wanting to move towards for yourself. And then let that condense down into a word that encapsulates your intent for yourself, that encapsulates that desire. And let yourself feel the energy of that word, of that state. So bring it into your body now. So you're breathing in that state, that word. You're letting it permeate your cells. And you're anchoring that, letting your body know, this is what I want more of in 2013. Help guide me to bring this energy deeper into my being and my experience. And to take this from a thought to an experience. Good. And still holding that energy, go ahead and open your eyes and take a moment to just write, to just chat what your word is, so we can connect this circle, and we'll just read some of these words out loud. So if you can chat what your word is, and I'll start saying some of the ones out loud here. So peace, and just let that, each of our intents resonate. So what else?
Ease.
Ease. Another one, success. Joy. Love.
Yes.
Yes. Acceptance.
Exuberance.
Exuberance. Nice. Health. And growth. Beautiful. Balance. Exploration. Authentic. And as we resonate these words, as we speak these words into this global circle that we're creating now, whether you're listening to this live or watching this broadcast later, there's a resonance of all of us coming together and speaking our word into the circle that allows each of us to then also get a piece of that for ourselves. So we're all supporting each other in our intents. Freedom, certainty, abundance, compassion, value. Beautiful. So feeling how you're part of a circle right now of all these different intents, that you have your intent, and that as you hold your intent, you strengthen everyone else's individual intents. And that together, we're all working to come into our truth, our authenticity, our center, our core, and that we're supporting and feeding each other. So my word was peace. And I also get to feel all the other words that were spoken as now part of my intent as well. There's another word, understanding. Yum. So imagine that you're standing in a circle of women that all have their individual intent and that are also supporting you unconditionally in manifesting your intent. It's an amazing experience to be supported in becoming who you truly are, and to be seen through the eyes of love, until you can see yourself through those eyes of love as well. So I want to introduce you to some really spectacular, wonderful women that have been part of our 13 Moons circle. And they're going to share from their hearts and their experience how being part of a circle has supported them, has changed them, has enriched them. I am so big on community because I've seen when we step into community, and into a community, and this is any community, that honors our individuality, that wants to foster who we are, then so much change can happen. Good, so let's start with Stephanie. Okay. This is Stephanie.
Hello. A couple of things I'd like to share. One of the big differences 13 Moons made for me was around fear. When I first joined 13 Moons a few years ago as a participant, I was a very fearful person. And as I finished that year, I noticed that I'm a lot braver now, and I run into situations where I can remember where I was fearful, and I kind of laugh. I chuckle a little bit because I just don't have the fear there anymore. And I believe in the program so much, I've worked as an assistant for the last 2 years. And the other thing I'd like to share is prior to coming to 13 Moons, if I made a mistake or an error, I would beat myself up about it. And one of the things I've learned from Heather Ash is to nourish myself. And that's really made a huge difference.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay. And this is September. Come on over. Yay.
Hi, my name is September, and look at the green light. Before 13 Moons, I would say I was very shut down, and I knew there was a light inside of me. I knew there was, and I just didn't know how to find it. And I talked with my friend Lori at a pre-gathering for 13 Moons, and she said what it allowed for her was, it allowed her to fall in love with herself. And I thought, I want that. That's what I want. I want to be in love with myself. And being in that circle, the circle held love and acceptance for me until I could hold it for myself. It provided a sisterhood and a community that was a launch pad to be brave and to be shiny and to go out in the world and be who I was in all of my Septemberness. And just really love who I am and be as authentic as I am as a person. And I've gone on so many adventures, and it all started with 13 Moons, and I'm so eternally grateful for this program. I want to pay it forward in any way possible. Mm-hmm. I want everyone to do it. It will change your life. It has so changed my life, and I'm so grateful. And that would be the word that I would bring in addition to yes, it would be gratitude.
Thanks you. Yay. Are you good, Tozy?
I'm ready.
All right, Tozy's ready.
Hi, my name is Tosi, and it's Tozi, and I'm connected to Toci. So there were some synchronicities with our name. And I wanted to share with you the importance of this program for me. I was a little skeptical about the program because of the commitment to be here for over a year. And it seemed daunting, and what were we going to do? So I had a lot of questions around it. But I was drawn. I was seeking connection and understanding of myself. I, like some of the other women that just talked, felt that there was something inside of me that wanted to live differently. And I knew that this might be the vehicle to help me get there. And so hesitantly, I decided to gift myself this. And I, in my mind, said, we'll try it for 1 month, and if you like it, you can keep going. And that's sort of how I came into the program, because I thought it's extreme commitment. And a little voice said, well, why don't you deserve to gift yourself this? 1 Saturday a month to do something nice for yourself, and what's 2 hours during the month to get together with the group. So it was a big leap of faith, and I am eternally grateful for doing that for myself. And the first month that I came and met with the rest of the sisters, I was hooked, and I didn't understand the concepts or the language or the words at first, and now have a deep, they have a deep meaning for me. And as you hear Heather Ash talking, some things might resonate for you, but trust me, at the end of it, it makes complete, perfect sense. And so her teachings are amazing, and the women that you meet as part of this circle will forever change your life. And so I'm very grateful, and like September said, gratitude for what this has given me. It has changed my life. Thank you.
Hey. Woohoo. Good, and this is Coral.
Hi. So I really wanted community, and when I started out with 13 Moons, I never dreamed that all these women that I didn't know in the room were going to be my best friends by the end of a year. And it has been an amazing journey, and has been such a gift to watch people go through their process, and to watch life happen and see how the circle comes and supports each person. And my own issue is abandonment, and so for me, one of the biggest gifts of the year has been claiming that I am wanted not only here but wherever I go.
Beautiful. Awesome. Aren't they radiant? So great. And what I really wanted everyone to see is the diversity of women, and that we all heal in different ways. And to support all of us, me included, in continuing to find a circle that will support us in becoming who we are and really shining our light. And so whether you choose to explore and learn more about 13 Moons, or you have a local community, or you create a local community to support yourself, keep holding what your intent is, what that word is, and then asking for your spirit to guide you to what will be the next place of support. Things don't change if we just think about them. There's lots of things I've thought about that ain't manifesting. It's only when we take action, when we step towards and really say yes to ourselves, not just with our thoughts, but with our actions, that things really change and really start to shift. So what commitment are you going to bring to yourself? One of the things I love about the 13 Moons Circle is that we have a phenomenal circle in Austin, which any of you are welcome to come to. And we also have a really deep global program that is, we have an incredibly extensive website that everything is recorded on. There's also some live interaction with me, with the globals. And every month you get a tool and an article and a focus. And what we've seen is that having a focus every month allows you to go deeper. And it's quite amazing what happens on the energetic realm, because so often, even if you don't know what the topic is coming up, often you find yourself working on that topic just naturally because you're within a bubble of energy, a bubble of intent. I've talked to several of the global women recently, and I've been in interaction with, that have told me how much their lives have transformed. They're in the middle of nowhere. There's a woman I talked to the other day that lives in Canada in a small town, middle of nowhere. Doesn't have a lot of community around her. But from doing 13 Moons, she made all of these friends from all over the world. She made connections in ways that she wasn't able to in her current life. And she felt supported in becoming more of herself through the teachings. So it's incredibly powerful. Give yourself a gift of finding a circle of support. And if you want to learn more about 13 Moons, feel free to check out our website, toci.org, toci.org. And tomorrow I'll be sending out more information around our global program. And there's also a lot of ways that you can connect with us. There's a lot of articles, a lot of videos up on the website, so that's another great way to check in. And just know that there is, that you deserve, maybe that's a better way to say it, you deserve to be supported unconditionally in being as bright as you are. You deserve that. So gift that with yourself for 2013, however you do it. Find your circle. And you're so welcome to step into our circle of 13 Moons. Thank you so much for joining. And I'll open the call if there's any questions or anything anybody wants to share. And you're also welcome at any time to email us at TOSI, and it's tosiglobal@gmail.com. Aww. So thank you, Heather, and beautiful women for sharing. Thank you, ladies, for sharing from your heart. Love to you, Heather. Love to you. This is the sacred Toltec kiss. We have fun. Did I tell that? Did we say that? That we have fun? We have fun. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, sweethearts. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. And I'm heading to Mexico next week, and I'm going to gather all of you up and bring you with me so that you get to also experience the energy of both this circle and the energy of Teotihuacan and the pyramids. So open your perception and take in all the energy that's here for you. Yay. Good night.